If you are looking for the best 4K laptops, you are in the right place. We have tried to include in-depth information on 4K laptops in our video, which will be enough to fulfill all of your needs. All of them are maintaining their features, prices, quality, durability, and reputation of the manufacturer and real customer feedback. If you want to buy a 4K laptops, we think this list will be very worthy to you. Now, let's get started with the video. At the first position of our list, we have Dell XPS 13 Model 9310 4K. At this point in the game, Dell has the premium ultra-portable thing down to a science. The Dell XPS 13 has undergone a number of small tweaks, including a smaller frame, thinner bezels all around, and a bigger keyboard and touchpad. Pair that with one of Intel's latest 11th gen processors and new integrated GPUs, and you've got a laptop that looks good and works hard. Plus, you've got a lovely super high-resolution screen to gaze into. While it's really hard to find any faults in the XPS 13, there are a couple, namely below-average battery life and a lack of ports. Despite this, the Dell XPS 13 retains its spot on our best laptops and best 13-inch laptops pages, and is a top pick for anyone looking for a premium ultra-portable. Moving on to the next at number 2 with Alienware M17 The third iteration of the Alienware M17 is here, and it's even better than the previous models. Sporting Intel's new 10th Gen H-series processor and an NVIDIA Super GPU, the Alienware M17 is a formidable force in the gaming laptop arena. Not only is the laptop powerful, but it's got an intergalactic elegance that's a bona fide head-turner. It's also one of the lightest desktop replacements on the market. Watching the trailer for Miss Virginia, actress Yuzo Aduba's bronze skin looked great on the 17.3-inch display, especially when set against her cranberry blouse with its blood-red embossed flower pattern. And while Trials of Mana is already a beautiful game, playing it on the M17 screen just seemed to elevate the visuals. In line with Alienware's characteristic vividness, the M17 reproduced 166% of the sRGB color gamut. The M17 screen is also seriously bright, averaging 591 nits. The number 3 position is held by GIGABYTE AERO 17 HDR. While the GIGABYTE AERO 17 doesn't have an OLED display, its HDR replacement is kick-ass, nailing 575 nits of brightness and 165% of the sRGB color gamut. In Shadow of the Tomb Raider, the lush greenery popped in contrast to the red, green and yellow shanty houses that surrounded us. When we dove into a swamp, we could see the details in the rocks around the darkest corners. And the cracks on the wood houses were incredibly sharp, even at several feet away. Now combine that with a slim aluminum chassis packed with an RTX 2070 Max-Q GPU that can still last a wild 5 hours and 30 minutes on a single charge. The AERO 17 is an excellent choice for video editors and gamers alike. Next at number 4 we have Dell XPS 17. The Dell XPS 17 wields a magnificent 17-inch 4K panel in a chassis that is smaller than most 15-inch systems. And if that isn't impressive enough, the performance of its 10th Gen Intel Core i7 processor and NVIDIA GeForce RTX 2060 GPU should be. And let's not forget the speedy SSD, bumping sound, and highly efficient thermal system. However, the $3,049, $1,449 starting price is going to give a lot of consumers pause. The laptop has a 93.7% screen-to-body ratio with a 16:10 aspect ratio, which means instead of your normal 4K panel, 3840x2160, the XPS 17's panel has a resolution of 3820x2400. Measuring for color reproduction, the XPS 17 hit 172% of the sRGB color gamut, and the screen is also extremely bright, averaging 505 nits of brightness. And despite that glossy display, the XPS 17 has an anti-reflective coating that allowed us to see clearly from every angle. The number 5 position is held by HP Spectre X360 15-inch OLED. Need a relatively affordably 2-in-1 laptop with a lovely 4K OLED display? The HP Spectre X360 returns with its gorgeous copper-accented chassis, a comfortable keyboard and powerful Bang & Olufsen speakers. It also ramps up its panel with 483 nits of brightness and 258% of the sRGB color spectrum. We could see each strand of hair on the crazy old woman's head, and when James McAvoy took the stage, his green and brown flannel shirt popped on the Spectre X360's display. The panel was bright enough to make us forget that the glare was even there, and when Pennywise revealed himself in a pitch-black space, we could still see a structure in the background as well as some of his costume. Now combine that with the Intel Core i7-8565U processor, an NVIDIA GeForce MX 150 graphics card, and the uber-flexible design for a versatile multimedia experience. The number 6 position is dominated by Razer Blade 15 OLED. Besides boasting a stunning 4K display with G-Sync technology, the Razer Blade 15 is the slimmest desktop replacement around. It clocked in 438 nits of brightness and 243% of the sRGB color spectrum. You'll be wowed by its Core i9 processor and NVIDIA RTX 2080 Max-Q GPU. Not to mention that it lasted more than 4 hours on our battery test. Gaming is a feast for the eyes on the Blade 15. Playing through Far Cry New Dawn, we were impressed with the golden yucca plants and the bluish-green hummingbird buzzing about it, trying to feed. The verdant pastures were dotted with neon pink flowers. Details were clear enough that we noticed the bark on each tree. Some had the usual textured surface you'd expect, while others were stripped bare due to grazing by local fauna and others were covered in moss. Moving on to the next at number 7 with HP Spectre X360 13-inch OLED. OLED displays are finally breaking out into 13-inch laptops, and the HP Spectre X360 is among the first to get one. The Spectre X360's 13.3-inch, 3840x2160 OLED display is feverishly colorful and bright enough to replace the sun at the crack of dawn. It clocks in at 414 nits of brightness and covers 218% of the sRGB color gamut in the Jungle Cruise trailer. The exotic pink flowers that bloomed on the mystical tree jumped off the screen as if I was standing right there in the river. The machine also comes with an Intel Core i7-1065G7 processor, 16 GB of RAM, and a 1 TB SSD with 32 GB of Intel Optane memory. However, even for a laptop with 4K display, especially an OLED one, which tends to consume less energy, the Spectre X360's battery life is dismal. The Spectre X360's battery died after 6 hours and 31 minutes, which pales in comparison to the 847 premium laptop average. The number 8 position is held by MSI WS65 9TM. The MSI WS65 9TM Stellar 17.3-inch 4K display covers 251% of the sRGB color gamut and emits 393 nits of brightness. Jack Black's green and brown bow tie in the Jumanji Next Level trailer might have been glossed over on another panel because of the darker shades, but it popped on the MSI WS65's panel. When Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson was about to get chokeslammed by Rory the Hound McCann, we could make out the cracks in the walls of the dimly lit space around them. It not only keeps up to par with badass workstations, but it is the best workstation around right now, pumped with an Intel Core i7-9750H processor and an NVIDIA Quadro RTX 5000 Max-Q GPU. Top that off with a super slim design and a battery life that outlasts the average workstation. Despite being light and thin, the MSI WS65 can take a punch thanks to its mil-spec chassis. Next at number 9 we have Alienware M15R4 RTX 3070. Are you thirsting for some NVIDIA 30 series badassery? Well, look no further than the brand spanking new Alienware M15R4. This baby has it all. Power, beauty, on the inside and out, and a soft touch. For a hefty $2,499, the Alienware M15R4 will grace you with its intense Intel Core i7-10870H processor and NVIDIA GeForce RTX 3070 GPU, a poppin' 15.6-inch 4K OLED display, and a punchy keyboard wrapped in a familiar but stylish design. According to our colorimeter, the Alienware M15 covered a whopping 149.5% of the DCI P3 color gamut, sailing well past the average premium gaming laptop, 89.9%. At 362 nits, the Alienware M15 exemplifies what a premium gaming laptop should look like, toppling the 346 nit category average. In the trailer for Another Round, Mads Mikkelsen's maroon shirt was so vibrant and bold, I thought I was watching Hannibal for a second. In the same scene, the panel was so bright that it detailed the carpet in the background of the dimly lit restaurant. Mikkelsen's hair was also as sharp as ever, literally and figuratively. Finally, the number 10 position is dominated by MSI GT76 Titan. The MSI GT76 Titan looks as dazzling as it has ever been, especially on the inside. Its 4K panel blasted us with 376 nits of brightness and 157% of the sRGB color spectrum. The gorgeous color cavalcade continued as we played Far Cry New Dawn, where a crimson and black rattlesnake coiled, ready to strike with thin yellow lines accentuating the black diamond patterns on the reptile's taut body. The full moon overhead helped bring attention to the delicate scales making up the transfixing pattern. And thanks to its RTX 2080 GPU, the MSI GT76 Titan maxed out the Steam VR performance test. Although it's a pretty thick boy, at 10 pounds and 1.7 inches thick, its keyboard was generously spaced and offered bouncy feedback without a hint of bottoming out. That's all for today. All the product links in the description down below. We upload videos every single day. So, don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell button for the upcoming video notification.